It's definitely lighter out there. I think the visibility might be good enough to fly shortly. Before Ellie could stop her, Amanda rushed off. Margaret patted her shoulder. Rotten luck. I know how close you two are. I doubt that you'll get much opportunity to see each other until this wretched war's over. Things are supposed to improve now the Yanks are here. Yet a whole convoy was sunk the other day, and Jack said there aren't enough aircraft and ships in the Atlantic to protect them. The Americans haven't got into their stride yet. I think it's mainly airmen and aircraft that are here. The ground troops will be arriving next. Their servicemen, I gather, will be paid 3 times as much as our men, and will have everything they could possibly want on their own bases. No rationing for them. When I landed in error on a new base in Suffolk last year and looked around, I was astonished at how much they had. I can't see them being welcomed by the locals after what we've been through these past few years. Unfortunately, we can't do this alone. Even with the Commonwealth countries pitching in, we just don't have the resources that the Americans do. I'm certain that we'll win the war now they're fighting alongside us. Ellie changed the subject. Is she right about the weather? No, it'll be dark before it lifts. Why don't we organise an impromptu leaving party for Amanda? I'm not sure that she'll appreciate it, but as no one will be going anywhere today, it's the perfect time. The 2 local women who ran the canteen were delighted to help. I've got a tray of cracked eggs that need using up, lovey, so I'll make a nice big sponge and I'll boil the rest for sandwiches. I think there's some bunting somewhere out the back, and we'll put that up as well. Thank you, Mary. That will be wonderful. Can you be ready by 3 o'clock? Righty-ho, shouldn't be a problem, as that gives us more than 2 hours. If you ask the other girls to leave, we'll close up for a bit so we can get things looking nice in here. It's a shame Amanda's leaving, but she's got to think of the baby. Ellie was surprised Mary knew the reason why her friend was leaving, but made no comment. This probably meant that the majority had guessed and were just waiting for Amanda to be asked to leave. This proved to be the case, and everyone was eager to do their bit to make the day special. Ellie had managed to purchase a pretty card the last time she'd gone into Southampton, and this was in her locker, along with a matinee coat knitted by her stepmother, Mabel. She'd shared the news with her stepmother when Amanda had told her, and the little jacket had arrived soon afterwards. She went to the mess where the remainder of the flyers were sitting about knitting, sewing, playing bridge, or standing on their heads. Well, only one of them was doing that. Jackie insisted it was good for her brain, as it sent all the blood rushing to it. Her announcement that there would be a leaving party for Amanda at 3 o'clock in the canteen was greeted with surprise by a few, but half of them had already guessed the reason. Several had, like her, something prepared for this eventuality. What we need, Ellie, is some alcohol. I know it's tipping it down, but I think a bicycle ride to the nearest hostelry is called for, one of them said as she stood up. Anyone coming with me? Can we borrow your bike? You can, of course, Joan. Shall we have a whip round to pay for whatever you can buy? With almost £5 collected, Joan and another volunteer braved the elements to go in search of something more interesting to drink than tea. Jack Reynolds! Just the man I wanted to see! Nigel, Amanda's husband, yelled from the other side of the mess at the White Waltham ferry pool. Good to see you. Bloody awful weather. Are you grounded? Afraid so, old chap. Amanda's stuck at Hamble, so won't be home tonight. She'll stay at the cottage with your wife. Like a fool, I gave her my door key, so can't get into my house. Can I bunk down at your billet? There's usually an empty bed at the pub. Has Frankie announced that there's going to be no deliveries done today? Jack hoped this was correct. Not the foggiest, but spoke to the Met girl and she said it's set for the next 24 hours. Visibility is going to get worse as it gets dark. February's always a shocking month. How are you liking delivering the big boys? Didn't you do the conversion course for Class 5 last month? I certainly did. Like you, I prefer to fly a Spit or a Hurry, but we do what we're told. I heard on the grapevine that some of the girls are going to convert this year. Can't see how they can fly something so cumbersome. They can be absolute buggers in a crosswind. Ellie's not said anything about it, but then we've hardly seen each other recently. I'm trying to persuade her to ask for a transfer here, as it would make life so much easier for both of us. Have you asked Frankie if he'd be happy to have another woman on his books? We've only got 3 and they're massively outnumbered. I wouldn't want Amanda based here, as there are too many predatory chaps on the lookout for a pretty girl for my liking. I did speak to him, and he'd be delighted to have her. She's a better pilot than many of the guys and certainly has more hours in her logbook. Then I wish you luck. Maybe if you found the perfect house first, then she'd be hard-pressed to refuse. Good God, use your loaf and some of the money she inherited from that Dunlop chappie. Excuse me, I'm going to ring the pub and make sure there's a bed for you tonight. He didn't want to discuss the fact that Ellie was rich and that it had come from her previous fiancé. Greg had been a decent sort of bloke.